Hey guys, welcome back. This is View from the Throne. I'm your host, Lorenza Nicole Molina, aka the Black Butterfly Queen, La Reina Mariposa Negra, and thank you for joining me again. Um, I just want to get on here before I get started and start talking and all that stuff. I just want to say thanks for taking your time out because you really didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? You could have been listening to anybody else right now, and I appreciate that, and I hope that today, this hour, whenever you're listening, that whatever I say adds to you and helps you. Um, and if nothing else, you know what I'm saying? I hope that everything's going well. And if it's not, I am sorry that it's not easy. But, we're going to, I guess, get through this thing together. Um, Life has truly had its ups and downs. And um, I'm just grateful to be able to get back to the things that I've been needing to do. And I hope that it is a blessing to not just me, but to whoever else is listening. So let's get into it. My topic today is accepting my light. Yeah. Um, Guys, you know that thing where people will be like, oh, you're so good at this, or you're so good at that, and you downplay it a little bit. Like, I mean, it's nothing. And you downplay it because you really sometimes don't think of it as anything. And sometimes it's because people in the past have made it seem like it was nothing or gaslit you behind it, so then you downplay it. Or people have gotten jealous of that thing, and so you downplay it. And the last one is sometimes you're afraid. And when we're afraid, it's because of, and probably again, once again, a trauma, you know. But for me, the way I downplayed it was, I would say, oh, that's just God, you know. Oh, you know how God is. God, the people like, oh, thank you so much for what you said, blah blah blah, you know. And I'm like, that's just God, and of course it's God. But what He pointed out to me was that everybody is like unique stones. There's diamonds, there's jades, there's sapphire. Um, and some of us are cut from similar stones. But the difference is the way we're cut. And to they use lasers to cut different stones, or really, really compressed water to cut stones. And the way you're cut um, helps illustrate the light differently through you when it shines. And so, yes, people are drawn to the light that's shining through you, which is God. And yes, there's other people that are cut from a similar stone as you too, but they're not cut like you. So there may be a little bit more of this and a little bit less of that, depending on how you were cut. Some people are given more, some people are given less of things, depending on how you were cut. But we all are made to shine a light, or be light shine through us in a certain way, to dance through the stone that we are, and how it cascades out onto the world is unique. And people are drawn to that light, but they're drawn to the way it shines through you as well. They're drawn to the way you are cut. Because there's somebody that's cut similar to you, and they may not even be from the same stone, but they were cut similar. In the way your light shines, they relate to. They may not have even the same interest as you, but the way your light shines, the way it shines, it's interesting. And so, yes, we want to give credit to the light. We want to give credit to the one who cut me this way in the first place, who made sure I was shaped this way so that when the light reflected through me or shined through me, it would bend in a certain way that would draw certain people. But I had to be who I was for it to reflect or shine the way that it does. And that is the thing that is important for you to accept. Your cut. I had to accept that thing that people loved about me. It was hard to accept that thing that people loved about me because I didn't want it. Simply said. And the reason why I didn't want it is because the way I looked at it. Thank God beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I am not the beholder. In my opinion, the beholder is always and truly will always be God. He may let us see things from his perspective here and there, but he's truly the beholder of beauty. This is why some beauty is strange and misunderstood. But that's, once again, something for another podcast episode. But I had to realize that it was okay to celebrate the way I'm cut. It's okay to embrace that. Yeah, okay, I'm cut that way. I didn't want to accept it because how people in my past tried to live through those cuts. They tried to use it for themselves. They tried to take me and mold me in the image of what they think I needed to be. They try to manipulate me with those cuts. So no, I did not want to take it because they use a similar vernacular as those who would praise me because of those cuts. And I did not like it. It put a bad taste in my mouth. I am not that. Please don't tell me that. Yes, okay, I'm good at that, but that's not that big of a deal. Oh no, that's just what people say, yeah, I probably could be this, but I don't really want to do that because my eye is really on this. And all the while is that that was for me, that cut. It was me. And if I took out the pain and I took away who said it, would it change it that it was true? People will say, you're meant to be like this or meant to do like this, and you're not really. And I'm going to tell you what my cut is. My voice. My voice. Singing, talking, whatever. And because I love God, I had people tell me as a child, a particular person, I won't say who it is, tell me, oh, you're supposed to be a preacher. Oh, you're going to preach. You're not even that I'm supposed to be a preacher, but they were supposed to be a preacher and that I was going to take up and take over for them one day. Like I was their successor and it was so self-glorified because it was like they were saying they were Moses and I was going to be Joshua. And I was like, no. I may have a similar gift. I may be cut from a similar stone, but the way God shines through me is not going to be the way he shines through you. And I knew that much even as a child. And I didn't like how there was so much of effort to try to make me feel like I needed to be like that person from that person, not from really anybody else, but that particular person. And it's nothing wrong with being a speaker, a pastor, a minister. If you're called to that, if you're just doing it just to be doing it, you may need to check yourself. I don't know. And that's with anything. Because it's hard to do anything even when you're made for it. Like, it's hard for women to deliver babies, even though our bodies typically are built to carry and hold a baby. And when we do, it doesn't mean it's easy, but it's nearly impossible for a man, or it's supposed to be impossible. That's another topic, for a man to be able to carry a baby naturally. Okay? If you're not meant for something, then you're going to find it even extremely more frustrating to hold your own in that. And you're not going to have the compassion that you need for it, or the discipline, or the tolerance, tenacity, or even joy and love for it, excitement for it, hope for it, ideas for it. You're going to be frustrated and angry. So anyway, people try to put things on you and tell you that you're going to be something or do this because they see that cut. And it makes you have a bad taste in the mouth for the thing that you actually are pretty good at, because they wanted to mold you in their image. I've had more than one person tell me something that they feel like I should do with what I have. And it's never been what they think I should do. But at the same time, anything that came close to the idea of what they said would put a bad taste in my mouth. I felt like people were trying to control me, because they were. But I couldn't even take a compliment when somebody just meant that as a compliment. Oh, you're just so, you gonna come preach at my church? And I'm just like, I'm not, but I don't preach. I don't know that. That's not what I do, And I would get upset because I would be like a teenager. And it would be like a random somebody. And people think, oh, that's a sign. It's not necessarily. Sometimes people don't have any other category to put you in, so that's what they put you in. Because if they know you believe and you can speak well, oh, then you must be a minister. And that's all they know, because that's all they know. It's not even because that's what's true. And then God told me to start a podcast. Guess what that has to do with speaking? Did not want to do it. Did not want to do it because I don't take this position or speaking as something light. I don't, even when I'm talking to somebody one-on-one, I don't take the fact that I've been allowed for some reason to speak to somebody about something that's going on in their life. It is not a joke. You know what I'm saying? When people are hurting, you can't just be saying anything, and you can't be just deflecting your own pains or projecting your own pains onto them, and then they following your negative, broken advice because you didn't have the ability to just hear them for where they are and assess based off of what they need. And this is what people say, oh, I just love when I speak to you because of this, or you made me feel like this. And I'm just like, oh, that's nice. I'm glad I was able to do that, because that's what I want. I want to feel safe when I express myself to somebody. And so when God says love your neighbor as you love yourself, I love them in the way that I would want somebody to love on me. And that's to be heard and not judged. Even if you don't agree with me, I need you to hear me fully and give me a real answer, not just your opinion, but something with wisdom. And if your opinion is attached to that, but is it in a healthy way, then please tell me. If you know I'm wrong, then please tell me, But talking to a microphone and hoping that people were going to be able to hear and listen and all that, that just gave me stress and anxiety, because I was like, that's not what I just, why? Who am I going to, and then this is what I thought to myself, but there's so many podcasts, there's so many people, there's so many. Why do they need me? I felt like I got in trouble when I asked that question. Excuse me? Like, God, like, are you questioning me? You acting like I don't know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? But why do they need me? And I'm like, where did that come from? Why did I think that? Because this is not the way that I explained with people trying to use me, or tell me what they think I should do with my voice. Speaking wise, was not the only way my voice had been under attack or been manipulated or whatever. And mind you, these times when people would say, "Oh, come speak at my church," would be when I would get up and speak at somebody's funeral. That is not the time. And it's that little 2-minute part, and a lot of this times is when I was a kid and I wanted to say something, and or I felt like I needed to say something out of respect, but I felt anxiety when I went up there, but I still did it. And then they would say this, and there was a purpose in that still for me, but it was like, yo, that's probably not the time to ask me that question. And I'm somebody's child. I can't just be rolling up at somebody. What you talking about? I know some kids do that, but that wasn't where I was, not that type of person, that was this like very foreign for me. Okay. I knew the Lord because of my mother, and we read the Bible, and she talked to me about our relationship with God. But all that is, this, no, thank you. I don't know, and I respect stuff. So I was like, I don't know what y'all talking about. But the other way that I had dealt with that was with my singing voice. People getting jealous. I didn't feel like, oh, I was just so great. Oh, what are you being jealous of? Like, these people that were getting jealous could also sing. That's what was wild. And sometimes people, I can honestly tell you, can outblow me. They can blow and still would have some attitude with me. And I'd just be like, whoa, will be threatened by me. And I said, girl, you got more on your cut than me. What are you even tripping about? But it wasn't about how much she got on the cut. It was the way the light shined through my cut. She was jealous of the way the light shined when I sang, not how well I sang, how it affected people when I sang. And meanwhile, I was just like, oh, it's nothing, just singing, because I wasn't looking at it like that. I was just trying my best to show up. Meanwhile, people over here jealous of something that is difficult for me to do, to sing in front of people. I was terrified. So anytime it came to that area, it was a challenge for me. And people being jealous or people treating me a certain way behind it, people, when I finally did show up and put myself out there, they give me credit for the space I held, how I supported so many other people, and how those people came and turned on me and humiliated. I just went through so many different battles concerning it. But you know what? When the enemy he tried to get you to cancel your own light. He tried to get you to close it down. He tried to, he'll even try to use people to physically harm you. I've been physically harmed by people who were also musicians who did try to use my voice. That have been physical. That is how deep it went for me. And so I was like, nah, that can't be it. And I didn't realize how much I was downplaying something. But how can I downplay something that is such a threat to the enemy? Because before I even knew how much of a threat it was, he was really showing me how much a threat I was, because he sent everything after me, after my voice. I mean, I mean, the ways I would get sick, it was outrageous. God has really covered me. You know, he's really delivered me from a lot of things, delivered me from people trying to manipulate me, to use my gift the way they wanted to, attack me physically. I mean, he's got me away from so many situations. And I realized, like, I don't need to be afraid to use my gift or be who I am. I'm a speaker. I'm meant to speak. It has not always been easy for me. I think because I think that it's not something to take lightly. I think you can have fun with it, but I think it's just because I didn't like what I was seeing when people were on the manipulative side, and when it came to using my voice, I didn't like when people. I felt like I made me vulnerable, and people would try to hurt me. You know, and so I was just like, no, 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 don't be too loud about it. But when it was one on one, or God told me to do something one on one with somebody, I would. Or if I felt like I just needed to be kind that day, if I just wanted to be nice that day, you know, I just would. But I didn't want to be in front of a mic. I remember my first speech class, I pushed myself. And this is also the misconception, because I am talkative when I'm with my family or my friends, people I'm comfortable with. They think that should be easy for me. And it is not. That is also, I just want to put that out there. Just because, just for all the talkative people out there, that people think it's easy for you to talk, when they don't realize the only reason why you're that talkative is because you're comfortable with them and not the rest of the world. And they just keep putting you in awkward positions with people you don't know because they think you got it like that. I'm here to speak up for you and say, stop doing that to us. Just because we are able to talk, don't mean we want to talk to everybody all the time. Because a lot of talkative people are really introverts opening up. And the reason why we're so talkative, because we finally have somebody that we can have a good dialogue with, that we actually enjoy talking to. So when we actually start talking to those people, they don't know the difference, because they don't realize it's because I'm comfortable with you. Yeah, yeah. So think about that. Don't just assume that everybody's okay. Because I'm not that person. And if you were to go to my school when I was a kid, yeah, I had classes that I was talkative in and classes I was dead silent in. And my teachers were confused. It was like, how are you talkative in my class here, but you are the quietest kid in this class? It's because I didn't have anybody that was comfortable being around in that class. But I had that one friend in that other class, and we would cut up, and I wouldn't even have to start cutting up. I would just instigate it, like laugh and gas them up. That was my part. Okay, I wasn't necessarily the class clown, but I would gas the class clown. I'm going to laugh, right? And if you're my friend, I'm going to laugh. But I did not talk to a lot of people. Even when I was around school, I did not talk to everybody. But when I did talk, I had a lot to say. I had a lot to say, because it was the right person in the right conditions and I was comfortable. Do not put people in situations because you think you know what's best for them, because, oh, but you could do this. Maybe they could, but let God prepare them. Don't press them, because you may delay. You may be a reason why. You may help create a reason why someone is delayed in doing something. We don't want to force people to be who they're not ready to be yet. Let God move them. You can encourage them, but don't put them on the spot. I hate when people put me on the spot. My biological father put me on the spot in front of the whole church before. He's put me on the spot in front of his family. And I wasn't comfortable with him because I wasn't close to his side of the family. I was close to my mom's side of the family, but even then, I like to listen because they had all kinds of stories. Okay? So don't do people like that just because you see something that they have. You can encourage, but don't force. Because I am a person that will shut down. Okay? But here we are. I've accepted my light. I have accepted what people have been telling me for a long time. I'm comfortable around you, or I thank you for hearing me out, or thank you for what you said. Thank you for the song, because sometimes God has told me to sing, you know. to people. The only person I used to sing for was my baby brother, my little brother, Nathan. That's the only one I used to be able to sing for. When we were kids, I could not sing in front of my other brothers or my mom. They heard me, but I couldn't like stand in front of them and sing. I sing in the bathroom by myself, but I could not stand in front of them and sing. I just couldn't do that at that time. But he was the only one I could sing literally in front of, and he looking at me, and it's okay. And it took me a lot. It took me a while, but here I am. I don't even know who's going to listen to this. I don't know who's all going to hear it, but I hope that whoever does hear it, I want to let you know that if life, things in life have a way of trying to scare you into not embracing something that's not really bad. And you think that I don't want to be that person. For me, being put on the spot a lot, or being put in a position where people were calling me certain things, and it was always out of turn. It wasn't, you could feel it. You could feel the manipulation. And I had to fight that so much that it just made me not want to explore that part of my life, or my ability, or my gift. And it honestly has spilled over into other gifts that I've been realizing that I haven't operated in, because when people found out about this, look what they did. If God had me go and speak at a church, it doesn't mean I'm a preacher. And this is what I mean. I'm God's speaker. I'm a mouthpiece. I'm whatever he needs me to be. I am, but I'm not perfect. And I'm not trying to live up to an idea or a title. I am just trying to do my best to follow through and finish. I say that because it doesn't matter if it's at a church or a hotel or the platform at a big stage somewhere. If I got something to say that needs to be said, if it's one-on-one, if I have something I need to say that needs to be said, then I'm just going to say it. And I'm just going to trust that God's going to give me the words to say it. That's what I'm saying. I was right. I wasn't nobody's preacher. I was right. I wasn't, but I am God's speaker. And that a speaker is just a speaker. There's so many people on here with podcasts. There's so many people. Look at Tabitha Brown. She's not a preacher, but she be giving us that word. Okay. When she gets on and she has what she says what she has to say. Kev on stage. He's a believer. He ain't here preaching. Probably could preach a sermon if he really wanted to, because everybody has the ability to uplift anybody else. And if you have a gift in comforting people, then you may be given some things to say a little more often than somebody else would. But it doesn't mean that just because you're not as comforting that you will not be called on to tell somebody something at some point. But me embracing the fact that I am an introvert with a gift of gab. I am a speaker, not really a talker, but a speaker. That it's okay, and I don't need to be afraid of what people made me afraid of concerning those things, of carrying too much or whatever. Just carry the message and let it go, whatever it is, because we're all messengers in our own way. If we're dancing, if we're singing, if we're writing, if we're doctors, we're all pulling something down and looking at something with a unique eye, with a unique perspective, and going up against it or challenging something in a way no one else can, because we look at it differently. We are all here helping each other in different ways. Some of us help each other with our bodies. Some people are here for our minds. Some people are here for each other with their soul. And there's so many different types of gifts that help those different parts of who we are. Don't be afraid to be whoever you are and however that looks for you. It doesn't mean that you're going to be what people say you're going to be. It doesn't mean you're going to be what they have tried to make you. It means that maybe that was the only way they can explain what they saw because their understanding was limited. Maybe they didn't even realize how traumatized they were making you. Maybe they didn't realize what they were doing when they were saying those things. And sometimes they may, but regardless, don't let how those scenarios have messed with your mind or how people have hurt you keep you from enjoying being you. I'm still learning how to be comfortable with all of this because it's out of what I'm used to. But it doesn't mean I won't get more used to it. I'm more used to it now than I was when I started. You can. There are so many different titles for the same thing. When we say musician or artist, that can mean, a musician can mean anything. A singer, playing keys, playing anything, playing any kind of instrument. Didn't say what type of musician, just said musician. An artist can mean so many things. You can be an artist musically, a painter. You could be somebody that welds things or sculpts things. It can be anything. But don't be so afraid and try to run from what people have scared you with, quite frankly. Just embrace what you have and let God use it the way it comes. And don't put a title on it. Just do it. Just be it. A drum is just a drum and it just beats. A trumpet is just a trumpet and it's percussion. And when you blow wind through it, it makes a sound. Just be what you are. Just make the sound that you make in this world. Just go to the rhythm that you have. Just go to the melody that you sway to. Just be you and take the baby steps that you need to take. Do not put an identity on anything. Let God identify you. Because all those things, preacher, singer, rapper, artist, musician, all those things are titles. Your identity. My identity is God's daughter. Am I perfect? No. Baby, my crown is so tilted sometimes it's sliding off. Let me just be real. And it has fallen so many times and cracked. But like my son says, just because it's cracked don't mean it can't still shine. And like I say, just because it tilted doesn't change its value. Okay? So whether cracked or tilted, it's shining and the value is still there. So I'll leave you with that. I thank you for coming in again today. I hope this was helpful. I hope it wasn't too all over the place for you guys. Once again, I'm getting used to this, you know what I'm saying? So y'all bear with me, right? But I just hope I encourage somebody not to be afraid based out of the pain or manipulation people have put you through, psychological things people have put you through. I hope that I encourage somebody to enjoy the process. And that, yeah, it's gonna be like learning how to walk, and it may be a little wobbly at first, but that's okay because this is your gift and this is your life and you're finding your own way with it, and you have the right to. You have the right to enjoy every part of you without people putting their expectations on it because they're not God. They didn't give it to you. Without people trying to take away from it and tell you to dim your light. No, because you deserve to shine. And that the reason why you're frustrated is because you haven't been able to. Either because people are jealous, or if you shine too bright, then people try to come and take it for themselves and you don't know how to defend it. But God is with you. Just go with God. Seek Him first with everything, not last. You know, we always pray after everything happens. But just pray before you make a decision. Sit with it for a while. Come to peace inside with that, whatever that is. And that is God letting you know it's okay at that point. When you have peace about that, not just, I'm just going to do it and I just accept it. No. Peace. And you're like, yeah, that's it. clarification. You know when you know, right? But I hope that you have a great rest of your evening, day, morning, whenever you are listening to this, whatever hour you're listening to this, wherever you are listening to this. Be blessed. Thank you. Share the podcast. If you feel like this is something that somebody you know needs to hear, please share it. By the way, I forget to ask that. But share. Yeah, share. And if this is something that is beneficial to you, feel like beneficial to you or somebody that you know or love, please share. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. And you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Remember, no matter if it's broken or tilted, okay, I'm trying to see if you remember, broken or tilted, it still shines. All right. Bye-bye. Hey guys, before I forget, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And if you're interested in seeing anything else that I do, you can go in my description and hit my link tree and follow any page from there. Thanks again. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.